right, so today you need a padded surface, a bolster of sorts, pillows, what have you, blanket, and a block. We'll be doing our twisting for cleansing, detoxing. It may be a little bit uncomfortable at times in these areas. That's totally natural. So if when we're twisting you feel a little discomfort, that's actually your organs like letting go of stuff. So breathe a softening energy into those places, all right? Let it go. Let it happen, all right? Try not to tense or tighten because that slows the process down. If we're in a twist and you feel that sensation, back off a little bit so that you're not like squeezing too hard to press too hard into it, okay? Just gently ease into it. You want to think about your organs like a washcloth, and remember they're living things, so you don't want to squeeze the life out of them. You just want to gently feel that squeeze of pressure to get a little bit of the bad stuff out, but leave the good stuff in, okay? So feet are going to be spread more than hip width apart, toes turned out slightly. Let's just come into an awareness of our body right now and the space and our breath. So I love this movement because it gets you really quickly into your body and awakens you. Inhale, big, through the nose, and let those arms and mostly the hands flop along the midsection of the body, awakening those internal organs. Exhale, big, through the nose. You might already be feeling it in these twists as you come side to side, organs awakening. And so if it's painful in any way, don't come quite so far around. Don't let the arms flap quite so vigorously. Breath is deep. Inhale, back and forth a couple times. Exhale, back and forth a couple times. Keep it going. Come to stillness with that. Good. All right, take your surface or something stacked underneath you. You can have your block nearby because we are going to be twisting to the side. So if you're going to need a block to help elevate you, then have that close by within arm's reach. But let's just start with our hands underneath the shoulders and press into those hands. Look down at the space between your thumbs. Your feet should be a comfortable distance apart, and you can bend your knees. Oh, all of you are like I am right now, but look how I'm long on my mat. I'm using the sticky part. Yeah, so all of you turn. Yeah, good. So that your feet, yes, perfect. So you can really dig your heels in. Yeah, and turn your toes out and feel safe on your mats and have a wider distance apart so your hands can reach that surface under you. Good. Now walk your right hand to the center of the chest, directly under the center of the chest. And you might need to place a block there right now if you need to. I want you to keep your hips nice and flat. We're going to twist from the mid back to upper back. So take your left hand on your left shoulder and push your left shoulder open, chest open, and reach your left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Beautiful. Press the floor or that surface under the right hand away from you. As you breathe, keep your hips level, feeling that twist from the mid-back upward. So you'll feel this in those upper organs more, especially on the right side. Keep pushing down toward the floor. If it bothers your neck at all to look up, just look neutrally to the side. take a couple breaths to come down with your left hand. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Switch so that the other hand is now underneath the center of the chest. Push down toward the floor so the chest isn't sinking down, it's pressing down into the floor. And press your right hand into the right side of the chest. Reach your right fingertips up toward the sky. Try to keep your right hip down so that the hips are parallel to the floor. Lower back really is parallel to the floor. Look up toward the sky. You want to push down toward the floor, but also feel like that hand is hovering above that surface underneath it. Really nice, everyone. Take your time on this side as well, slowly lowering the right hand and arm with a couple deep breaths, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Now spread the feet a little farther apart if you're able to, keeping your toes pointed wider than your heels, and turn your fingertips so they're pointing in the opposite direction. And if you need to bend your knees, you can. Walk your hands through those legs and relax through the head and neck. Nice deep breathing here. Lean a little extra weight into your toes so you feel the stretch a little deeper. Especially if your legs are straight. If your legs are not straight, you might not want to lean into the toes. Keep walking your fingertips to the wall behind you. The hands back to center. Turn those fingertips around. And you're just going to walk your feet back together underneath the hips and bring your feet as close together as possible. And legs as well. Bend up the knees. Wrap the arms around the back of the legs wherever you can, holding on to opposite hands, wrists, forearms, or elbows, and then straighten through the legs as much as possible. Drop your nose toward your knees and deepen into the stretch, but also you're going to feel it not just in the back of the legs, but in the shoulder blades as you engage those arms behind the legs and deepen in with that nose toward the knees. Relax the arms down at your sides, and we're going to slowly stack the spine, taking your time. Tailbone comes first, and then like you're building with Legos, placing one block on top of the the other. Stack the vertebra, one by one. Saving the head and neck for the last bit. Very nice. Okay. So remember doing the sensation of doing our chair pose, our triangle, our warrior and side angle with chair. We're going to do it without that. So I want you to grab your block, place that in front of your right foot, and give yourself a nice wide stance with your left heel pressed toward the back left corner of your mat and your right toes pointed toward the short corner of the mat, short end of the mat. Make sure your hips are not unlevel, so bring that right hip up just as high as the left hip, and then bring your left hip back just a little bit so that that left hip isn't coming too far forward. Good. So I want you to watch me really quick, because this morning when I did this with my students, I did a poor job of explaining it and noticed two things that needed major correction. So before we even get into it, I want to show you those two things. So what they were this hand and arm needs to be pressed firmly down into this top of the leg, and the palm needs to be facing up. And you'd think, wow, why is that really very important? Think about this like a structure, okay? And this is part of the foundation of the structure that we're building. And when you push that elbow down into the top of that right leg, you're helping to elevate the chest, you're helping to keep the center of the body over the lower part of the body, okay? And then the other one was having this arm reaching for where the wall and ceiling meet over here. It looked like this to me this morning. A lot of people were doing it like this, and I wanted it to look like this, okay? So this is where, if I look up and I'm drawing a bow and arrow, I want it to shoot right there where that wall and ceiling meet. And again, it's lines of energy, building a structure, okay? So look down, make sure if you drew a straight line from your right heel to the instep of your left foot, you'd have a nice positioning there. Hips come back to forward facing, belly, chest, chin. Good. Hands on the hips, make sure they're level. Fingertips right in front of the breastbone. Inhale, arms open, and already right here, I want you to feel as though if someone came up to you and tried to knock you down, they would have to try pretty dang hard. All right, bend your right knee. Good. Now you're gonna know right now, if that knee is over your heel, you need to scoot your foot forward. Good. Good. Now if in your correction you dropped that right hip down or moved your chest, come back. Good. All right, now with a lot of purpose, bend your right elbow, palm up. Good. Stick it on top of that right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over with purpose. Good. Look out from underneath your left armpit toward the ceiling. Left bicep over left ear. Press the shoulders away from the ears, but reach your left fingertips up to where the wall and ceiling meet. Beautiful. Yes. That is awesome. Yes. Woohoo. Looking good. Looking good. Push the floor away from you. That's going to engage those legs when you start to feel like, oh, I can't hold this any longer. Engage those little tiny muscles. Make them work. All right, let's push into our right foot. Come up, arms straight. Good, relax the arms down. Beautiful, bend your right leg and hop the feet together. Shake it out. Feel that in the hip, huh? Or maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I taught this class once before today. Yes, good. Yeah, so let's see. Now we did it, which way were you doing it? Were you, yeah, so where were you feeling it?
Like
So you should be feeling it where you're stretching across, but were you feeling it where we were crunching? Where were you feeling it where we were crunching? Like in what kind of way? Like a tightening?
Like a kind of, but also stretching.
Okay. So what you're probably feeling is that engagement of here. But yeah, a stretch. Let's do it on the other side and see how you feel on that one. And describe it when you get down there. But not a sharp pain or anything like that.
No.
Okay, good. All right, so feet spread a comfortable distance apart. If you had to adjust last time because your heel was a little bit too close in, go ahead and give yourself, get outside your comfort zone, spread your legs a little wider apart. Good. Okay, look down, make sure that your left heel is drawing a line to the center of your right arch. Good. Check your hips. Check one, the left hip is just as high as the right hip. Good. Belly, chest, and chin all facing forward. Fingertips right in front of the breastbone. Beautiful. Bend your left knee. And as you bend that knee, good. Keep the knee over the ankle. Inhale, the arms open. Good. So here's the difference. You might have been reaching like this. That's why you probably felt a stretch. Just hit me. So we want to crunch down and fan up with these ribs. All right? So that could be why if you kiss. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad that you mentioned it. Have to be a inspector here to figure it out. So yeah, drop the shoulder down to the hip rather than reaching out, because you want the fanning sensation on that side that's open and expanded, and the crunching sensation in the ribs. That's the only way I can describe it. I kind of feel like, gosh, that's not a great term, but when I think about ab crunches, that's what I mean. I don't mean crunching like granola. I mean crunching like a sit-up kind of thing with the abs engaged. Push the floor away from you with both your feet as your body wants to get tired. Look up toward the ceiling. Reach your fingertips long without bringing the shoulders up toward the ears. You want a super long line from the outside of the right foot through that right side of the body and out those right fingertips. Good. And come on out. Arms straight. Good. Relax the arms down. Okay, let's turn and hop those feet together. All right, this time let's actually use the block that we placed in front of our feet, and we'll do it on this right side. We'll do a triangle. So this means we're not going to bend our legs, so you might not want to spread them quite as far apart. But what I do want you to be really careful of in this is keeping your body as though you're between two panes of glass. So imagine there's or a laser if you're into sci-fi. Imagine there's a laser wall here, a laser wall behind you. All right, so as you come down, that's where this crunching really and keeping those ribs kind of engaged, that's where this really comes in handy. Because if you come forward and you're relying more on just pushing your booty back and your chest forward, then you're not taking advantage of lengthening the body. You're just more kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna lean into it, okay? All right, so like I said, you don't have to come as far apart, but if you're worried about your level of flexibility, then do spread those legs a little bit farther apart. All right, pigeon toe the left toes. That just helps you if you feel any kind of fear of slipping whatsoever. All right, hips forward facing. Good. Fingertips right at the chest. Inhale, the arms open. Good. And again, bring your shoulder to your hip, just like a clock, and your arms are the arms of the clock. Drop your right hand to your block. Good. You can move that block in. Mine is going to be really more more in front of my right shin, just based on my body shape. And left hand, those fingertips reach up. Lines of energy. Pushing your block down into the floor like you're trying to glue it down for your life. Good. Both legs are straight. Yes. That's where the triangle comes in. Both legs are straight. You have a triangle between the legs. All right, imagine someone has placed gently a satin rope around your left wrist, and they're just going to gently pull your left arm up, and your right arm is going to follow, and you're back to center. Relax the arms down. Good. And let's move our block to the other side. Which do you all prefer? Raise your hand if you like side angle better. Who likes triangle better? Oh yeah? Okay. I kind of do too. But we do side angle because it's a little harder and good for us. And it makes triangle feel a little better. So there's that. All right. And if you find that you need height for triangle, like that was just really tough for you, go grab another block or place your bolster underneath you, underneath your block, okay? No need to force yourself into it. Oh, and again, just so you all know, my block was about to right here. So if you were feeling like you were reaching and having to compromise your space and pushing your bottom back, then move it in. But everyone's different. Okay, hips together. Hips together. Yeah. Okay. Hips level. Good. Chest, chin, belly, all face forward. Fingertips together. Inhale, arms open. Good. All right, let's do our clock twisting. So the center of your body just stays the center of your body. Not reaching outside that range. Drop your left hand down. By now, it should feel like it's coming home. That block is the home for the hand. Good. Fingertips, right fingertips reach up for the ceiling. Push into your feet. Hopefully by now, after doing 3 of these and this being your 4th, by now you've kind of dialed it in and this one feels really good. If you want to get better at your warriors, triangles, side angles, you just have to practice them more and more. There's so much in terms of body mechanics, so much in terms of taking your own body shape and the millions of moments that have gotten your body to where it is in the present moment when you're practicing to take into account. So lots going on there. Inhale, come back up. Good. Exhale, arms down. And then you get into all the stuff with your feet. And oh my gosh, you can really go down a rabbit hole with them. Okay. Let's come down to sitting. All right. Okay, so just real quick for the people at home, there was a question about ankle pain, foot pain in after those kind of standing positions, and it is totally normal to have that feeling. My feet are sore right now, and a couple of things that you can do: you can roll on a ball later, lacrosse ball, tennis ball. The other thing is to be really aware in your standing poses of where your weight is in your body, in your foot rather. So if you tend to keep your weight in your toes or your weight in your heels, just be aware of that and try to keep your weight in all 4 corners of the feet. And that's why I give the option of putting a second block up too, because if it is hard for you to balance with the feet spread quite so far apart, bring them closer together, use your blocks to help you not go quite so far. Okay? All right, so let's do a Kundalini movement that we haven't done yet, I don't think, in here. And this one is another shoulder heart opener, heart chakra releaser. So it looks like this, and this one's called the Whirling Dervish. And so as you close your eyes and breathe a very quick breath, you start to hyperventilate just a little, and you start to feel like you're twirling. If you've ever seen the Whirling Dervishes, they wear the big red dresses and they twirl and twirl and twirl, and it's a moving meditation. So if you close your eyes and do this breath, it's as though you're breathing through a straw. It's a mouth breath, and so you close your lips like you're breathing through a straw, and you go. Okay? It's weird to do, I know. But if you're at home and there's someone in the other room, they're gonna come in and go, "What the heck are you doing? I'm doing my yoga, leave me alone." Okay, I'll explain later. That breath helps you it's almost like breathing into a paper bag a little bit. It helps you to get into that meditative place. Now, I don't want you to pass out. If you get to that place, you've gone too far, back it up, okay? But you do want to feel a little bit of a lightheaded sensation and get to that place where you're like, oh my gosh, I actually feel like I'm twirling, okay? So don't overthink it. Just close the eyes. We'll be here about 5 minutes. Don't worry about the time. I'll take care of the time. You just enjoy it and try to flick away. That's the idea. You're flicking away negativity, okay? We got so much of that in the world. Let's just flick away the bad stuff. All right, eyes closed. And inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now you're gonna start to feel right away that engagement in the internal organs, the squeeze, if you will. All right, and you're going to probably feel a little discomfort. I already am. That's the detox. If it's too intense for you, back it up just a little. You don't have to be so vigorous with it. If it eases up a little bit, add a little vigor. Go a little deeper into it. All right? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I should be able to hear you breathing. It should be loud in here. Inhale, exhale. Good. Bigger breathing. Chest is lifted, spine is long and tall. Eyes are closed but not forced shut. Jaw is not clenched. Soften the face. Let that negativity go. Flick it away. Flick it away. Good. If you have to take a break, you can still do the breath. There's no sharp pain with breath. Keep it going. Halfway done. Stick with it. Less than 2 more minutes to go. Stay with it. Don't drop your chin into your chest. Try to keep your chest open. Back of your head, an extension of the spine. Soften your fingers, soften your face. Keep it going. One more minute, you can do it. Almost there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Hold the palms just about an inch over your head. Pull your elbows in opposite directions. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. I want you to hold in all the good stuff. Let it just swirl around your brain, your mind. And let all that negativity stay out. Create a physical, but also a symbolic mental barrier for all that negativity you've just released. It's one thing to let it go. We gotta let it go and not follow it. Reach the arms up. Good, let's keep the arms fairly active. Fingertips walk on the floor away from you like little spider legs. Good. Now what I'd like you to do is, keeping your chest lifted, drop your right forearm down to the ground, keeping your right elbow close to the body. Now this is that crunching sensation from before where the right shoulder's dropping down to the right hip, and now you're fanning those left ribs. Okay, now if this is too intense for you, take your block or your bolster. You might want a block on one side and a bolster on the other. You might also want to remove your blanket to help you have a surface underneath you. For me, it doesn't give me enough of a stretch, so I'm not going to use it. You could do a combination of a block and a blanket on one side and a bolster on the other side, because we are going to come back to center and do the other side. Okay, so obviously your legs are outside of this chest and back plane, but I want you to imagine that pane of glass in front of your chest as you come up and come down, so that you're really moving side to side horizontally. Good. Beautiful. I'm just looking around, checking that you are dropping the ribs down. This is also helping us detox, cleanse. If your neck has just had it, we've done a lot of looking up, then just look neutrally forward like I'm doing right now, and don't worry so much about looking up. Protect that neck. center. All right, let's twist. So we're going to walk our fingertips, long arms. I want you to even feel the stretch in the inner elbows as we come around to one side. It doesn't matter which side. We'll come to the other side next. Now as you do this, I want you to feel the squeeze in that midsection to upper section of the back in the shoulder blades, really pressing into your yoga fingertips in the back and front of the body. Throwing the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Breathe deeply. Getting that squeeze and the twist. Fingertips back to center. Take your time with it. Use control, especially in the core as you come around. Keep it going around to the other side. Very nice. Right? Or one hand behind you, directly behind the spine, the other hand in front. Use those fingertips rooted down into the ground. Come to the other side and get just as deep of a stretch. Nice deep breathing. Relax your legs, relax your face. Soften the feet. Slowly walk those hands back to center. Good. Shake the arms, hands, wrists out. And we will move on to the floor for the remainder of class. If you would like to stack your legs on a bolster or surface for the end of class, you might, or for final, you might want to have that nearby. And come onto your backs. Bend up your knees. And bring your heels a couple inches away from the bottom. Our floor-assisted spinal twist, our final twist today, I would like you to bring your arms open into T position and bring your feet hip-width apart. And for this one, you have two options. You can either bring your right ankle crossed just above the left knee and drop your legs over to the left. If you do that, you're going to feel this more in the right glute and hip flexor. Or you can take that right leg and cross it deeply over that left leg, drop the legs over to the left, and you're going to feel this twist deeper in your lower back and around through that right hip. Your choice, which one you like best. Just go ahead and drop your head to the right. to make it as deep as possible. And then just let your body melt. Bring your nose and knees back to center. Uncross your right leg from your left. Bridge up with your spine, just peeling it away slowly. And bridge it back down. Arms come back into T position. And whatever you did on the other side, you're probably going to want to do on this side. So cross that left leg however you wish, and drop your legs over to the right, and your head relaxes to the left. Final twist for today is your opportunity to let go of something that doesn't serve you. We've done so many twists today, so many detoxifying and cleansing movements. So if there's anything you want to let go of that still feels like it's hanging on, you can just mentally try to help it shift fully through the body and let it melt into the ground beneath you. Slowly bring your nose and knees back to center. Good. Uncross your left leg from the right. Bridge that spine up and stretch yourself out for final relaxation. Let this be your time to be positive, to do some positive self-care. That is well deserved. Take this time to fill your cup up so that you can give back to the world. resting on the floor. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes, and when you're ready, roll over to one side and press yourself up to sitting. Nice work today, everyone.